go. Woo! That's gonna be good. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get the grill fired up. I'm gonna show you how I do it. And the reason I do it this way is because it gets the charcoals going quickly, evenly, and it doesn't taste like lighter fluid. Here's the thing, people abuse lighter fluid. I mean, it's terrible, all right? I've seen people just flames everywhere, and the problem is that lighter fluid does not really cook off entirely when you soak it that much. So when you're eating a burger cooked over lighter fluid soaked charcoal, you taste it. It's disgusting, and it's a nuisance to your neighbors because it just stinks up, you know, the houses around you. It's not fun, all right? But this takes care of the problem. It's a brown paper bag soaked in, just drizzled in some olive oil. Okay, I'm gonna wad this up. Okay, I'm gonna put it underneath my charcoal chimney, and I'm gonna light it, and that's it. And then it'll get going. Now I'm gonna fill this charcoal chimney up about 3/4 full. I don't need it overflowing because I don't have, it's gonna be enough to get cooked. So that's what we're gonna do here. All right, so that is gonna get going here. We're gonna let that get to where the coals are evenly red and heated. It's gonna be hot. And then we're gonna take this, we're gonna dump it right down in the center, try and scoop everything together, and then we're gonna be cooking the chicken on the outside. Now, this is a 26-inch Weber, and I bought the biggest one I could get because I wanted as much surface area as possible. I cook for a lot of people pretty frequently, and I wanted the real estate, okay? That's what I wanted. So that's why I got this one. You can rearrange that charcoal. The cool thing about this Weber is I've done smoking on it. I've smoked a Thanksgiving turkey on it. I've smoked brisket on it, and I've done it all with briquettes, charcoal briquettes. And I can show you how to do all that later. But as for this video, we're just gonna do some good old briquette barbecue chicken. We are going to be doing a barbecue chicken, and by barbecued I don't mean necessarily the sauce, but literally on the barbecue, on the grill, barbecue chicken. Okay, we're going to do it with charcoal on the Weber, and so what I've done is overnight I have dusted the chicken with. I basically make a my own ingredients, but this is what they are. It's equal parts black pepper, salt, oregano, parsley, paprika, and celery flake. Make sure that's blended up to the same fineness. And then I dust everything in that, mix it all up, and then I go back over it and I dust it evenly with cumin powder and sugar, okay? And the reason why I'm doing the sugar is because the salt and the sugar act to kind of push and pull flavors in and out of that meat. And so any good brine that you would use to season any kind of meat overnight or a few days does exactly that. And every good brine is gonna have salt and sugar. So in here, I've done that, but I just dusted it. So I don't have it soaking in water or anything or in a brine. I just had it dusted because I didn't want a wet chicken, right? But I wanted the ingredients, the seasoning on the meat, so that as you bite into it, that seasoning is already there. It's hitting your tongue. Once we're done cooking off the grill, it'll be ready to go. That's why I did it. So that sugar and salt are still acting in that same way to work together to push and pull those flavors in and out of the meat. And so there was definitely, I put it in a big bowl, and in the bottom of that bowl was, you know, some of that juice that gets pulled and pushed in and out of that meat, but it's definitely in the bottom of the bowl. So I mixed that meat up to get that coated because there's flavor in there. You don't want to lose that. So right now, we've got this setting at room temperature. We'll let that come up. We got our grill started, so let's go check that and see where we're at on there. And then when everything is ready to go, we'll put this chicken on the grill and I'll show you how to do it. All right, so I just want to show you that this is what you're looking for. We don't have any smoke coming off. We got the red flame coming up. okay, and we want the majority of those coals to be red hot or turning white, and so we're almost there, in which case we'll be dumping that down into the bottom of the Weber grill and moving on. So what I want here is I want my coals to be stacked in a mound. I want to keep that heat going, but we want it in the center so I can put my chicken on the outside. So that's what I'm accomplishing here. So we got our grill on. So I'm going to go ahead and close the lid and get the temperature up, and that way I can clean off the grill surface with that heat, scrub that off, and then I'll bring that chicken out and we'll get going. Okay, already it's coming up to temperature. I mean, if I was cooking this in the oven in the kitchen, I would do about 350 degrees for about 30 to 40 minutes. I definitely cook with a meat thermometer. That is the biggest thing I've learned along the way, is that meat thermometer is your friend. So I'll be breaking that out just so I can keep track and make sure I don't have any undercooked meat and that it's cooked just right. So we'll get that up to temperature, clean it off, and bring out the meat. All right, so I did go ahead and rub this down with olive oil on both sides because I didn't want it to stick to the grill. So it kind of gives it that barrier, keeps that from happening. And so I'm gonna go ahead and start this skin side up on all the pieces, and then we'll flip that about halfway through. And I'm looking for about 10 minutes to check it, and then we'll come back and see where we're at. All right, I'm gonna set the timer. Probably gonna go about 15 minutes, given how far away I am from the heat. But that'll bring that internal temperature up to about 350. And I'll check it, see where we're at, and then poke it with a meat thermometer and take a look at the temperature inside. Right, so I'm checking it. No need to put the meat thermometer in right now because I know it's not up to heat. Okay, the one thing that I did make a mistake on, just so you know, is down low I got to open up the vents so the air is flowing through to keep this these coals going hot. Well, basically I choked them out, and they stopped heating the inside. So when I walked out after about 15 minutes, the interior temperature was below 300. So it just means we're going to keep it on a little longer. Once I get I'm letting the air get to the coals, getting the heat back up, and so we can keep it going. But what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is I'm not gonna turn them over, I'm gonna just turn them around because they're not too hot. And just so you know, I'm glad this mistake happened, so I can kind of educate you on, well, what do you do with, well, what I would do is I would fire up the oven inside if I ran out of coals and I needed to get it done. I just bring it inside, finish in the oven. Don't think we're gonna have to do that here. It's probably been about 20 minutes, only about 5 minutes after we kind of reset the coals. And what I've done is I kind of kicked the lid back a little bit. Got a little bit of a gap here just to let the air in, to make sure we're feeding those coals enough air, because we do have a good amount of smoke coming out, which is fine. It's great for flavor. But I just wanted to be sure we were feeding it properly. And that's what we're doing. We're just kind of kicking that grill lid back. It's going to hang out there. We're going to let it hang out for another 10 minutes. We're going to come check it and see if we need to turn those chickens over and cook those skins down. All right, so came back out to check it. It's been 15 more minutes, so we're about 30 minutes in now. Like I said, the first 15 minutes was a little soft in that our temperature was under 300, so we're gonna have to keep it on there a little longer, which is fine. We got enough coals for that. But I wanna remove the lid, check the chicken, and see if it's ready to turn, and we'll also baste half of them with that barbecue sauce. So just kind of get a feel for where we are. I've got my meat thermometer here. So I like it to be done. It's going to be juicy enough even at 160 degrees. Some people put it on at 150, 155, pull it off, wrap it in tin foil, let it sit. That's fine. I won't be serving this immediately, so that's not necessary. So I'm going to go ahead and set my temperature for, I'll go 150 just to kind of see where we are. Okay, so it's coming up slowly, which means it's probably going to be in around 135, 140. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and baste half of it, half my thighs, half my drumsticks with the barbecue sauce, and then I'll turn it and I'll put the lid back on and I'll finish it up. All right. So this time I'm going to go ahead and seal the lid on, and I'm just going to open this up a little bit. We're going to let that temperature really get up to heat. Even if we smother the coals, it's fine because we're so close to being done. It's going to finish it out. I'm going to come check on this in about 5, maybe 7 minutes, see where we are. If I need to cook a little longer, that's fine. We can do that. So just to make sure, I'm sliding this thermometer in right next to the bone on the chicken thighs just to see if we're truly at temperature. I'm looking for 155 or higher. I'll go ahead and grab the pan. What I'm going to do is and take these thighs, I'm going to pull them over the fire a little bit, over those hot coals. See if I can crisp up that skin a little bit before I take them off. And because it is so windy, I'm going to go ahead and cover that a little bit. I'm going to let that air come in there so we can really get that temperature up. But I don't want those ashes blowing around, so I'm covering the lid. All right, so here it is, finished product. There you go. Woo! That's gonna be good. All right, let's take this in and see what we got here. All right, so what I did is I just pulled out a couple strips of tin foil. I draped it over. I didn't seal it tightly. I want some of that steam to come out because I don't want it steaming the chicken, and I'm trying to keep that chicken skin crisp. So I just draped it over because I want the juice to come back to the center and just calm down, but it just makes it juicier if you just wait. If you just give it 5-10 minutes, it's going to reward you for waiting. So we're going to go ahead and remove this, take a look at it, give it a shot, see how it tastes. Okay, so just the look of it, I mean, wow, right? If it tastes as good as it looks, oh boy, it's gonna be good. So I'm gonna try one of the ones that have some of the barbecue sauce on it, and I'm gonna go for this one right here. Okay. Just checking to make sure we're done. Looks good there. It is tender. It is juicy. Not dry at all. But it is chicken thigh, so hard to dry out a chicken thigh, but that flavor from the seasonings is all in there. Because I chose the one that had the barbecue sauce on it, it's just got a little bit of extra depth of flavor. Yeah. I'd be happy to serve that to anybody. So these are just for trying not to look like a barbarian while I'm eating on camera, but let's be honest, it's barbecue chicken. Let's get after it, people. It's Cooking with Tim. Until next time.